Hello Infinity Gamers, I'm excited to launch my first proper competition on this channel. It's a big one, and that's because I find it very hard to get frustrated at Corpse Belly, but I found something that does slightly get to me. What is it? It's the ITS seasons. So we're not far off going into ITS season 17, having had season 16 split into two for our viewing pleasure. What gets me every single year is that the missions are largely the same. And then for this video, I did some actual proper research and found out that around 90%, maybe even higher, of the missions that have transferred across from seasons prior have just gone into the next season, which is fine for some people. You get consistency, you know what missions you're going to be tackling. But for me, dilutes the flavor of each season ever so slightly. While Frozen Roads, which off the top of my head was season 13, did bring in some really interesting gameplay around motorcycles and how they play. And then since then, there's been a bit more flavor with QAZ creatures or quantum anomaly zones. And all of that have slightly played into the lore. What we haven't seen is that shaking up of the mission set that we might see with different seasons of other games coming through. That's got me thinking, why don't Corpse Belly change their missions? And is there anything that I could do to make my local scene slightly more interesting? And the solution I've come up with is a mission competition. And why? Well, I've got a tournament coming up in October, and I've made the slightly brave or slightly foolish decision to run a completely custom mission set for it. Now, in order to do that, I have to come up with enough missions to make that possible. And I thought I'd rope you guys into helping me. How this is going to work is before the mission deadline submissions end, you will get your missions in. There'll be a simple form in the description of this video where you can input your details so that I can credit the right person for the right missions, and where you can upload your mission. I will pick 5 of those missions to feature in the Operation Taradiso mission list. And then the players of the tournament are going to decide their favorite of those 5 missions, and that will be the mission that wins the 2025 mission competition. What do you win? Well, you are going to get your pick. One of these 4 boxes. The Essentials Nomads set, the Essentials Panoceania set, the Essentials Eugene set, or, last but not least, the Essentials JSA Army Pack. That's right. The person that submits the mission that garners the most votes at Operation Taradiso 2025 will basically be able to set up a new army for themselves. Now, the rules for this competition are incredibly simple, and I've done it intentionally to try and get as many people as possible to be submitting their missions. This may be the first time you've entered into one of these mission competitions. I don't want you to feel daunted about it. I just want to see as many missions as possible with as much variety as possible. So the rules are as simple as they can be. It has to be a mission that is suited for a 300-point mission, because that is what Operation Taradiso will be played at. It does mean the only map that we need to see at the end of the mission is a 300-point one, so you can save some time there. It must use N5 rules. That's effectively it. You don't have to come up with any fantastical new mechanics. You don't have to rewrite the rulebook if you don't need to. What I want to see is creativity. And what would be useful for each mission, but is not essential, is a bit of backstory as to what this mission is, the story behind what the armies are trying to do in this mission. Not mandatory, but definitely helps me set the theme or understand the theme that you are setting. You don't have to make this beautifully designed. I'll happily accept Word documents that just outline the key components of the mission, as long as everything's in there, so that when I assess them, I know that this is a mission that could be played at a tournament. The deadlines for submissions is going to be the 10th of September. The reason for that is that we'll need plenty of time to review all of them and choose 5, with enough time for people attending the tournament to actually play some of them, test their lists on them. So the 10th of September will be the submission deadline for missions. That will then give me about a week to go through as many of them as possible before launching the final missions for Operation Taradiso. And then, as mentioned, we'll play those missions at Taradiso, and then that weekend, the attendees will choose their favorite mission from the 5, and that will be the winner. Before you enter, there's one small catch that you need to be aware of. Every mission that gets submitted to this competition will be available in a public folder for anyone to use going forward. The idea here is that I want to give people the option to be playing some fascinating and interesting missions outside of whatever goes into those ITS season packs. The hope here is that we end up with dozens of missions that anyone can tap into to spice up their local gameplay by playing something that has never been seen before and has been crafted by the community for the community. So while there are prizes at stake here, what we're actually trying to do is build something a little bit bigger. So not only by entering your mission do you stand a chance of winning a cool prize and some bragging rights and confirmation that your mission is cool and that other players like it too. You'll also be contributing to a community resource. What if Corvus Belli then review that public document and decide that there are enough missions in there that catch their eye and that they believe are worthy enough to sprinkle in a couple of new flavors in there for us all to enjoy. So I really hope I get to see your submission in this competition. I'm excited to see the missions that do get submitted and to see the flavor and the variety that's out there lurking around. Maybe a mission that you've been thinking about for a long time, but you haven't had the motivation to actually create it and publish it. Well, let this be your chance. It may be a mission that you've submitted into other mission competitions. I don't mind. It doesn't really matter that it's not completely original or new. I just want to see as much as possible. Thank you so much for watching.